Set to launch on November 11th, 2022, but then was delayed to launch in the first half of 2023. However, with June fast approaching and no release date in sight, fans were once again worried StarField would be delayed again. Well, then those fears came true, as the game is said to be releasing on September 6th in 2023. How could Microsoft do this? Delaying the game again. What a horribly ran company. They should just close up shop and admit that Sony is the dominant force in the console gaming market. Alright guys, joking aside, the game's getting a little bit delayed and won't be releasing in June, but simply a couple months afterwards. This is not really a big deal to me, and honestly, it's so bizarre how many people have turned this slight delay into massive gaming news to make some sort of weird console war talking point. Just Google StarField delayed and you will see tons of people complaining about this, or even go on YouTube and type in StarField delayed and you'll see tons of thumbnails with people face palming or screaming how awful this is, and it's just the worst thing ever to happening in the gaming world. But before we discuss the reaction of the StarField delay and the upcoming June showcases Xbox has planned, I want to take a brief moment and welcome anyone new to the channel. If you are new, please consider subscribing. I got a ton of stuff in the works that I'd love to share with you all. Also, if you do happen to enjoy the video, let me know by dropping a like. But anyways guys, we got a lot to get into, so without further ado, let's get into it. So right up front, I just want to be clear, I don't think this slight delay is a big deal at all. Honestly, yes, the game was supposed to be out in the first half of 2023. It's coming out a couple months after June, so it's really not that big of a deal. Plus, games being delayed is just the new norm in the world we live in. Games get delayed all the time, and sometimes they turn out to be better than we could ever have hoped for, and other times they come out and feel like they're so underbaked they should have been delayed even more. You never know if a game's getting delayed for that extra polish, or it's just being delayed to be released still in a buggy mess. However, with Bethesda's track record, I'm expecting StarField to be an incredibly ambitious game that's still riddled with bugs. However, this title is going to be one that gets people lost in it for years to come, and will be another game modders will release countless additional content for the coming decades. At the end of the day, this is one title that once the public gets their hands on it, no one's even going to remember the delay at all. Honestly, if this game was multi-platform, I truly believe all the weird backlash about the delays would pretty much be non-existent. Instead of seeing thumbnails of people complaining about Microsoft and all their crap, we would be hearing people just quote that famous line, "A rush game is bad forever, but a delayed game is eventually good." And I truly believe that. I think most of this is just because it's going to be an exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. And like I said before, it's just another thing that fanboys have used for ammo in the console wars. I mean, look at it. I've already seen people compare, and even articles written on major gaming websites, saying that if this game comes out in the fall, it could be going head to head with Spider-Man 2, and it'd be two exclusives going at it. And while I agree, both of these games are going to be major juggernauts that definitely eat into each other's cells. After all, they're both highly anticipated titles. The problem with that logic is this year is so packed with games coming out that almost no matter what time StarField releases is going to be competing with a major title. If the game did release in June, it would compete with Diablo 4. If it releases a little bit before June and goes for a May release date, it's going to be competing with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Honestly, if games competing for our time and money is a concern, then I say 2023 should be an excellent year for gamers. I would much rather feel like I have to pick and choose what I'm going to play next, instead of having a year that's very lackluster without many major releases coming out. Having said all that, I do slightly understand how fans could be irritated. After all, Microsoft did do that E3 last year where they said this is what's coming in the next 12 months, and they couldn't even keep up with that pace. So it does kind of make them look like fools that they made a big deal about what's coming in the following year. But like I said before, it's not making that June cutoff date, but it's just coming coming a couple months after, so it's really not that big of a deal. At least not for people with lives. So if you live in the Twitter bubble, I could easily see you falling into this trap where it's the end of the world, but I simply think most people are not going to care, especially when the game does come out and they get their hands on it. So the slight delay and the release date for StarField was not the only information we got. We also got dates for the Xbox StarField Direct Showcase, which will be held on June 11th, which is very interesting because that's the same day that Microsoft is holding its summer big showcase. So hopefully during the big showcase, we get some information about other upcoming Xbox titles. Maybe we finally get to see Gears of War 6, or we get to see more on Valve, or maybe some gameplay shown for Hellblade 2. But right after that, we're gonna get the StarField Direct. And this is super cool because it means StarField will not dominate a ton of time at the Xbox Summer Showcase, and instead it's gonna get its own dedicated section where it could really stand out and get the time it deserves with that big Todd Howard treatment that fans are going to be excited for. And this is one game that I hope it does come out and delivers for its fan base. Nothing is worse than being extremely hyped for an upcoming title, to buy it day one, play it day one, and realize it doesn't live up to the hype and it just completely falls flat. Every gamer has had multiple games in their gaming career where they get it, they're excited, and after just 1 or 2 nights of playing it, that gut-wrenching feeling comes in and you just realize this is not what you were expecting at all, and it's a total letdown. I've been there before, and I'm sure many of you have been there as well. I don't wish that upon anyone. It totally sucks. So StarField, I really hope you can deliver. And with the extra time they're taking to polish this game and the extra care they seem to be putting into it, I think this is going to be the next Skyrim that sets the world on fire. I mean, look at this guy. He's written a 400-page Google Doc going into great detail covering all things StarField. There's some interesting stuff in that document, so I'll put a link to it down in below. Definitely check it out if you want to get more detailed information basically about anything related to this upcoming game. So for this person's sake, I truly hope the game delivers. Like I mentioned before, it's gonna have to come out strong if it wants to stand the competition with the rest of this year's lineup. I mean, Diablo 4, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Silksong, Spider-Man 2, the list goes on and on and on. This year is going to be jam-packed. Well, that's of course those games come out and don't get delayed. After all, like I said before as well, games being delayed is the norm we live in. But I want to hear what you all think. Are you tired of every time some minor hiccup happens, it's just another lame excuse for console war fanboys to whine and rant? Or do you think these are actually justified concerns that they have? Are you excited about StarField? Or does the game just seem to be not for you? Let me know in the comments down below. As for me, I got a ton of work to do, so I'm gonna get back to the grind and I'll catch you all next time. Peace.